Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 419 of our trek, and today is Motivation Monday. Every Monday, we hike the trails of life that will encourage and motivate you to live the rich and satisfying life for this week. Today, we'll explore the 10 practical lessons for life on our trek and then learn how to apply them. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. The weekend was full of activities that were very fulfilling. On Friday evening, we attended an open house at a small private school where our two oldest grandsons, Paul and Gideon, will be attending this year. It is great to see and learn about a school and know that they will receive good instruction from a Christian worldview. On Saturday, I was able to get the lawns mowed around the Big House and the two other homes that my brother Jack owns on the property. I was also able to finish up painting a bit of the exterior trim outside the windows of the dining room. Saturday evening, we attended our local Fireman's Ice Cream Social that was held here in Devola. We do like to support those who invest time to provide us with fire and emergency services. It's always a good time to catch up with some of the friends in the neighborhood. On Sunday, we drove north to Cambridge to attend church with my dad and have lunch with him at the Cracker Barrel, which is always a blessed time. The day this episode originally airs will be my 60th birthday. This is a milestone, not that I feel, look, or act my age, but because it is a time of reflection on where my journey in life has brought me to this point. I reflect on the impact that I have had on the life of others. Looking forward, I'm excited to see how much of a greater impact that I can have during my next 60-plus years based on my experience, knowledge, and the wisdom that God has granted me so far. God willing, and with the rapid improvements in healthcare technology, it is very possible that I could live another 60-plus years. With this thought in mind, although my occupations and duties may change through the years, the potential to continue impacting my world is virtually unlimited. Most of all, I want to enjoy the journey, wherever it takes us, as we keep moving forward. These thoughts motivate and encourage me, and bring to mind some lessons to motivate you. As we break camp and head out on today's trek, let's look at the 10 practical lessons for life. As I do reflect on the past 60 years, I don't dwell on the past or think of what might have been. I do use the experiences and lessons learned to help make wiser and more knowledgeable choices as I move forward. I cannot change anything in the past, but I can change how the future turns out by the choices I make each day. The ability to think through a situation and make wise choices is imperative to living the rich and satisfying life. It certainly would have served me well if I had learned some of life's lessons earlier, but since that was not the case, it is vital that I take what I have learned and proactively seek wisdom, insight, and understanding each day. One concept where we can assist our children, grandchildren, family, and others that we have impact on is to teach the importance of learning how to think, not necessarily what to think. Critical thinking skills are so much more important than the memorization of content or concepts. As a Christ follower, I feel it is very important to have morals and values as our foundation for life based on God's Word, because that will shape our critical thinking skills. With that said, here are 10 short practical lessons for life. The first one was made popular by Stephen Covey. Lesson number 1, begin with the end in mind. When you use critical thinking skills, it allows you to think forward to an end outcome of any situation. When making choices in life, if you are able to visualize the outcome of the choices that you are making, then it will allow you to determine whether the result of the choice is what you desire. Lesson number 2, live today as if it were your last. None of us know for sure when God has determined our last breath. Would you live for yourself, or would you strive to make the biggest impact possible on the lives of those that you love? Yes, you do need to make long-term plans, but realize that you need to do what is important for today. Do not put off until tomorrow what you can and should do today. Lesson number 3, leave no regrets behind. Every decision and choice is important. Make decisions and choices each day that will leave no room for regrets. Even if you live to be well over 100, live in such a way every day, and don't leave regrets behind. Lesson number 4, think for yourself. This is a key element in obtaining and using critical thinking skills. Yes, you can learn a lot from others who have experience, knowledge, and wisdom, but your life is unique, and God has made you for His special purpose. Do not become a lemming. Instead, learn to think for yourself. It is okay to ask why and to question the premise of others. You alone are responsible for the decisions that you make. Lesson number 5, use the acid test. Too many people are at loss when it comes to making decisions, especially the important ones. You may say there's just too much stuff to consider. You may be thinking of all the what-ifs, worrying about the possible implications of your decisions, and scared to death because of your fear of failure. These factors do influence your decision-making. When you need to make crucial decisions, honestly ask yourself, what is the worst-case scenario that could result from this decision? Next, ask yourself, what is the best-case scenario? Then determine whether you are willing to accept the risk of the worst-case scenario and if that risk is worth the potential benefit of the best-case scenario. I like to look at it this way. If it does not result in the loss of life or limb, then you can recover from all other scenarios. Lesson number 6. Make the best choice based on your current knowledge. You can second-guess yourself on all decisions and choices that you make, whether large or small. But make the best choice based on your current knowledge, considering the potential outcome, and then go for it. In most decisions that we make, the final outcome is not all that earth-shattering. Learn to enjoy the journey while you're on the route to whatever decision that you choose. And remember also, there are many different routes to the same destination. If one is blocked, then just choose another. Lesson number 7. Don't be a perfectionist. Perfectionism leads to procrastination and paralysis. If you do have perfectionist tendencies, you have to realize that done is better than perfect. While I'm not advocating doing less than you're capable, you have to realize that no one is perfect. So instead, strive for excellence. It is much better to complete a task, even if it's not done perfect, than to delay even starting it for fear that it will not be done perfect. Lesson number 8. Manage your expectations. Many of our disappointments in life are because we have not properly managed our expectations of people or situations. You have to realize that it is difficult enough to control and manage ourselves. It is impossible to control others or many situations on a long-term basis. We should set expectations for ourselves high enough to stretch us, but realistic enough that we can achieve them. When dealing with others, it is fine to set expectations, but realize that you cannot control them, so manage your response. Lesson number 9. Life is short, make it count. Regardless of whether you live to be 20 or 120, life is relatively short, especially in light of eternity. Live each day as fully as possible so that you can have maximum impact on the lives of others. That is why it's so important to live your legacy today. Don't ignore death, but don't be afraid of it either. Be afraid of the life that you never lived because you're too afraid to take action. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside you while you're still alive. So be bold, be courageous, be scared to death of taking that next step, but then take that next step anyway. You do need to make the most of today because in light of eternity, your life is but a mist. In the letter that Jesus' half-brother James wrote, he said in chapter 4, verse 14, "How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like a morning fog. It's here a little while, and then it's gone." And then lesson number 10, take care of yourself. You will be no good to anyone if you don't first take care of yourself. By this I mean physically, mentally, and spiritually. Take time each day to renew your mind with God's Word and other good and wholesome information. Invest time each day in prayer and meditation. Invest time each day in eating right and exercising. No one can take your place in this world. We all have 168 hours each week, no more, no less. You are never too busy to take care of yourself. If you think that you are too busy, then you're too busy with tasks that are not as important. It boils down to your priorities, so change the way you think. Romans chapter 12, verse 2 tells us, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." Today on our trek, we explored the 10 practical lessons for life based on my first 60 years on this earth. Take time to apply them to your life, as I will as I look forward to the next 60 years. Feel free to share your comments or questions by emailing me at guthrie@wisdom-trek.com, and I'll get back with you very quickly. Tomorrow's short trek is part of our Wisdom Unplugged series that we are now hiking on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These 2 to 3 minute wisdom supplements will assist you in becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise throughout your entire week. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek so that each trek is downloaded to you automatically. Our journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.